You're about to hear something that could put thousands of dollars back into the pockets of millions of Americans. But here's the thing. What you'll learn at the very end will absolutely shock you. So stay with me until the finish, because it could completely change the way you look at your retirement income and the taxes that eat into it every single year. My name is David Kent. For over 25 years, I've been helping Americans retire smarter, hold on to more of what they've earned, and avoid the costly traps that quietly drain retirement savings. And right now, there's a bill moving through Congress that could deliver one of the biggest boosts to Social Security checks in decades. And yet, almost no one is explaining what it really means for you. Before we go further, do me a favor. Comment your age and state below. I want to see who out there is planning smarter for retirement, because this change could hit faster than most people realize. Let's start with the first thing almost nobody talks about: the tax thresholds for Social Security benefits. They were created in 1983, 40 years ago. And here's the part that will make your jaw drop. They've never been adjusted for inflation, not once. That means while prices for food, healthcare, and housing exploded over the decades, the line where the IRS starts taxing your Social Security benefits stayed exactly where it was in the Reagan era. Back in 1983, lawmakers told Americans this new tax would only hit the wealthy. At the time, only about 10% of retirees paid any federal taxes on their benefits. 10%. Fast forward to today, it's over 60%. Why? Because as wages and costs rose over the decades, more and more ordinary retirees crossed the same frozen thresholds Congress set 4 decades ago. If you're single and make more than $25,000 a year in retirement, up to half of your benefits can be taxed, over $34,000. Now, up to 85% of your benefits are taxable. Married filing jointly. The line starts at $32,000, and above $44,000, the government can tax up to 85% of what you've earned. Here's the kicker. $44,000 might have felt high income in 1983. Today, with inflation, it's a very different story. Doesn't stretch far at all. But the tax line never shifted. So even retirees living on modest pensions or part-time work are now losing hundreds, even thousands of dollars a year from Social Security taxes. And most people don't realize this until it hits their first tax return after retirement. That's why I call it the silent tax trap. You work for decades, pay into the system with every paycheck, and then the government quietly claws some of it back simply because you crossed an income line frozen in time. Many retirees are shocked when they see their first Social Security statement with federal taxes taken out. I've had clients tell me, "David, I thought this money was mine. How are they taxing it again?" And here's the impact. Studies show eliminating these taxes could raise the take-home pay of a typical retiree by 15 to 30% overnight. That's not a typo. For someone getting $2,000 a month, that could mean an extra $300 to $600 staying in their pocket instead of going to the IRS. But until now, every proposal to fix this problem has failed. Some offered small tax credits that only wealthier retirees could use. Others talked about raising thresholds slightly, which would help for a year or two before inflation swallowed the gains. Then came the game changer, the you earn it, you keep it act. This bill doesn't just tweak the rules, it proposes eliminating federal taxes on Social Security benefits entirely, permanently. No more complicated thresholds, no more surprises on your tax return. The big question everyone asks, but David, if we stop taxing Social Security, won't that bankrupt the system even faster? And here's where the bill gets really clever, because the way it plans to pay for this will flip the entire funding structure upside down. And trust me, you haven't heard this part explained clearly before. Here's the twist hardly anyone talks about, and it's the reason this bill is getting attention on both sides of the aisle. Right now, Social Security is funded mainly through payroll taxes, but there's a ceiling on how much income gets taxed each year. In 2025, the cap sits at $176,100. That means if you earn $1 million, you pay Social Security taxes only on the first $176,100 of your income. After that, every additional dollar is completely free from Social Security payroll taxes. Compare that to someone making $60,000 a year. They pay Social Security taxes on every single dollar they earn. The millionaire stops at 17% of their income. The ordinary worker keeps paying at 100%. That's the system we've had for decades. The you earn it, you keep it. ACT changes this by introducing what people are calling the donut hole fix. It leaves the current system exactly as it is for anyone earning under $250,000. No change, no extra taxes, no new rules. But above $250,000, the cap disappears. A high earner making $500,000 or $1 million would start paying Social Security taxes again on income above that $250,000 mark. Why does this matter? Because right now, about 4% of Social Security's annual revenue comes from taxing benefits. Remove that tax and you've got to fill the hole. By taxing higher incomes above $250,000, the bill not only replaces the lost revenue, it actually strengthens the entire Social Security trust fund for decades. Some projections show this approach could extend Social Security's solvency far beyond the current 2034 cliff, possibly into the 2050s or longer. And here's what's fascinating. Ordinary retirees keep more money. The wealthiest Americans pay in a little more, and the program's long-term health actually improves. For the first time in years, lawmakers have a plan that doesn't pit one group against another. It's not about cutting benefits or raising the retirement age. It's about keeping what you've earned while asking those with the highest incomes to contribute on the same terms as everyone else. But here's the part that could really shock you, because if this passes, the timeline for when retirees see the money and how big the boost could be might be far sooner than anyone expects. And this is where everything comes together. The part that could truly shock retirees across the country, because the you earn it, you keep it act isn't written as some distant reform slowly rolling out over 10 or 20 years. If Congress moves quickly and the bill passes in the coming months, the changes could hit almost immediately. Retirees filing their 2025 tax returns could see zero federal taxes on Social Security benefits for the first time since 1983. Let's put that in real numbers. A single retiree making $30,000 in combined income today might pay taxes on up to 85% of their Social Security benefits. If that tax disappears, we're talking about keeping thousands of extra dollars each year permanently. For many households, it's the equivalent of giving themselves a 15 to 30% raise without working another hour. Imagine paying for rising groceries, prescription drugs, and utilities with money that used to vanish to taxes. And here's the beauty of the funding fix we covered earlier. Removing the tax doesn't weaken Social Security. By asking high earners to contribute above $250,000, the program could stay fully funded for decades beyond the current 2034 deadline. That gives Congress breathing room to address other long-term issues without threatening benefit cuts for future generations. So, what stands in the way? Right now, the bill has bipartisan interest. Democrats see it as tax relief for ordinary Americans. Republicans like the idea of permanently eliminating a federal tax on retirees. But Washington moves at its own pace, and the clock is ticking. The closer we get to the 2025 tax season, the louder retirees will demand answers. Here's what I tell everyone. Stay informed, stay vocal, and don't assume change will just happen on its own. I've watched too many opportunities slip away because people didn't realize how close Congress was to passing a major reform. If you found this breakdown helpful, hit subscribe so you don't miss the next update. Because the moment this bill crosses the finish line or hits a roadblock, you'll want to know immediately. This isn't just another cost of living bump. It could be the single biggest boost to retirement income in over 40 years.